What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Talking Wrestling. My name is Herb, aka the Sacramento Nightmare. I got Ian over here right next to me. And in this channel, as a reminder, we talk all things WWE. Coming up quickly, we have ESPN's inaugural event. Quickly coming up, we have the first ever premium live event on ESPN, streaming live on there. We have Wrestlepalooza, September 20th in Indianapolis. And with it being the first event, we gotta think that there's gonna be something big that happens in that event. It's gonna be stacked, it's gonna be action-packed. All of the top stars are gonna be live and present in there. Today we're going to go ahead and predict what we think the match card is going to be. And as of the making of this video, so far we have two matches that are confirmed. We have John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, and we have Stephanie Vaquer versus Iyo Sky for the Women's Championship on the Raw brand. So today we're going to be predicting what we think will most likely be on the match card for Wrestlepalooza. First off, I think there's going to be about 7 matches on the card. Take a look at Clash in Paris. They had 6 matches, which is out of the norm for the 5 matches that Triple H usually books. But with it being on ESPN, I got to think that they're going to be, it's probably going to be a longer event. I'd like to think that if they're going to be charging the fans $29.99 instead of the $7 to $10 that it used to cost over at Peacock, they got to give us our money's worth, man. So I think it's going to be a longer event. I think there's going to be more matches on there. And one of these 2 matches from the SmackDown brand, I think is going to be on Wrestlepalooza. The first match that I think might be there is going to be Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. On SmackDown last week, they announced that they're going to be wrestling each other over on SmackDown this upcoming Friday. That will be the second match in their rivalry. So I think there might be some type of outcome that would warrant them to have another match at Wrestlepalooza. You have 2 big names fighting for the Women's Championship, top championship on the SmackDown brand in the women's division. But if that doesn't happen, they might save that for the upcoming event over at in October. What is it? Crown Jewel. But what I think actually might be more realistic for them to add would actually be putting the SmackDown Women's Tag Team Championship on the line, because you have your champions, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Those are 2 huge names on the SmackDown brand that I think would complement ESPN well. And who do I think they're going to face? I think they're going to face the Secret Hervis, Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. I think they have an ongoing rivalry over there. Charlotte Flair isn't storyline medically cleared to compete. I think she'll be cleared to compete in time for Wrestlepalooza. I think out of those 2 matches, this tag team match is probably more likely to happen for Wrestlepalooza, just based on the show value and the names involved in that itself.
I agree, because for whatever reason, Nia Jax keeps getting involved with the Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill feud. So I think that that's still going to be unfinished, or still unfinished. But the Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, the We're Not Friends versus Secret Hervis, Piper Niven actually wrestled Charlotte Flair and won just recently. And so that, I think, adds a little more fuel to the fire, to your point, to make that an actual match for Wrestlepalooza.
Up next on our predictions, we have Division, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed going up against Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, reuniting on PLE. Again, the first ESPN event. You got to have your heavy hitters on there. So what better than an Uso reunion? We saw on Raw last week, Jay Uso was getting beat down by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And then Jimmy Uso comes out all super late, and all super late when it's already way past the beatdown. But he does come at some point and comes and tries to save the day to no avail. So they really planted the seeds for this match to take place. I think it's probably going to get announced this upcoming Monday on Raw. But yeah, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed versus the Usos. Tag team match.
Okay, so this is going to be the moment where they push Braun Breaker, because I think that this match is going to be very easily predictable, in my opinion. And it's just going to be really bad for the Usos for this match. I feel like this is going to be the time for the Vision to really separate themselves from the Vision, I guess you could say.
Up next, we have Rhea Ripley going up against Asuka. We've seen in Raw the past couple weeks, there's been a little bit of tension between the 2, fighting over Iyo Sky, over who's more closer friends with each other, fighting for her friendship. So I think Rhea Ripley is going to be facing Asuka. 2 really great women's wrestlers. Obviously, Rhea Ripley is probably the biggest name in the women's division right now in terms of who gets the most pop. Asuka is one of the greatest women's wrestlers of this generation. I think Rhea Ripley and Asuka, I think it's made for Wrestlepalooza.
I think this is a match here where they're really struggling to find somebody who's going to step up next to be the fill-in, so to speak, for the champions that are missing or even the superstars that are missing. And so I think this is going to be a litmus test to find out who is the crowd's favorite right now so that they can start pushing them to start building up that women's division much better than it is now, especially with a lot of talent that's missing.
I think as far as like amount of women and talent on in WWE right now, the roster has a lot of names. But I think the problem was they put a lot of emphasis with so little time to put on the shows. They really highlighted the Liv Morgans of the world, the Naomi's of the world, and it leaves little time for everyone else, albeit still a deep division, screen time to be able to push them. So yeah, I think like with them missing two names, the show must go on, and it'll be interesting to see like who steps up. And I think Asuka's probably one of the better fits. Probably the best women's return I've ever seen in my entire life being a WWE fan. We got AJ Lee back as a Friday night. CM Punk said something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm not alone. I have help." And then all of a sudden you hear, "Let's light it up. Na, 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 na. Let's light it up. I can skip if I want to right now. Let's light it up. Na, 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 na." Yeah, and you get the point. but yeah, I was skipping with AJ Lee. I was super excited to see her back. I want to push her to the moon, give her everything she's ever wanted. But anyways, yeah, CM Punk and AJ Lee, I think it's no secret. I think they're going to have a tag team match with Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. It's going to happen at WrestlePalooza. And man, we are really living in the world where you see CM Punk and AJ Lee back in WWE. CM Punk was crazy enough 2 years ago, but to see AJ Lee back, considering how they both left the company a little over 10 years ago, it's crazy to see them back on screen. But I'm here for it. I love it. I'm excited for this. This is going to be awesome.
Maybe this is the opportunity that CM Punk and AJ Lee were hoping for with the management change with Triple H, where they feel more comfortable coming back, maybe even sharing creative thoughts and ideas and it actually being applied. So maybe that's the reason why they came back. But with this match happening, it's obvious who the winner is going to be. So without a shadow of a doubt, it's going to be AJ Lee and CM Punk. But this is where it gets a little more dicier because something's going to happen where Becky Lynch is going to attack after the match because they lost or whatever, and attack, and then now they have that feud, and then there you go. Now they've built the women's division a little bit better. So that's my thought on it, but yeah, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point just with Triple H taking over. I think if Vince McMahon was still here, considering how they left the company and how Vince McMahon fired CM Punk on the day of their wedding, obviously there was bad blood between them, and there probably still is, but having Triple H come back paved way for CM Punk and AJ Lee to come in. So despite what people might be saying about Triple H's booking and criticism of it recently, which I think WWE is great. I know you have a different opinion, but without Triple H, we wouldn't see some of these returns happen. And I do agree with you. Predictions will come in a later video, fans. But yeah, I think they're obviously gonna CM Punk and AJ Lee are gonna win. It'll pave way for AJ Lee to have a rivalry with Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. Personally, again, AJ Lee's back. Give her the Intercontinental Champion. Have her carry the Women's Champion. Give her the Tag Team Champions. Have her team up with someone else. I don't care. Give her all the belts. AJ Lee is back in WWE, and this is so exciting for me. Lastly, I'm predicting a triple threat match for the most coveted prize in WWE, the WWE Championship. We are going to have Cody Rhodes make his way back to WWE TV because, again, ESPN, and what better way to get the ratings up and get the crowd a boost and get people eyes on this TV than a loud, whoa. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, and I'm going to throw in an extra name over here, Randy Orton, in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Since Cody Rhodes was taken off storyline-wise by Drew McIntyre on an episode of SmackDown. I believe it was a SmackDown after SummerSlam. And since then, Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre have been feuding on and off. It's been announced that this Friday they're going to face each other one-on-one in a match. I think that would be a perfect spot to have Cody Rhodes insert himself into the feud somehow, some way, and then we will get a triple threat match announced between the three for the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes and Drew Drew McIntyre, they have their own rivalry going on. I think Cody Rhodes, because Randy Orton is my mentor, he's my best friend. You get a championship shot, my friend, too. He's going to insert himself into the storyline in that way, shape, or form. And we'll have the triple threat match for the WWE Championship at WrestlePalooza.
It's an interesting take. Maybe that's a way for somebody to get jealous and maybe turn heel. Randy Orton. Never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think WrestlePalooza I keep saying with it being the first event on ESPN, we need to make a drinking game. Every time that's announced at WrestlePalooza, someone has to take a shot. Just kidding, the whole world will probably get drunk every time they mention that. But yeah, I mentioned it one more time. I think with it being the first premium live event on ESPN, there has to be some type of shock factor involved. And I think that could be, again, predictions will come in a later video, you guys, but that could be something that might happen at WrestlePalooza. I have another prediction, but we'll save that for another video. But what are your thoughts on our match card? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Do you think these matches are going to happen? Do you have another storyline or another scenario that you think will play out? Leave your thoughts down in the comment below. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video. And before we leave, we got 5 letters, 1 word for you. Peace.